Hey, good morning, everybody. It is that time yet again. And the old CPI news definitely had an effect on the market. Big old spike up. Although we pulled back 75% of that move. So we got some V-shaped reversals going on. Not the greatest price action when you got V-shaped reversals, but everything can change here when the market opens. Good morning, Paul. Hey, Michael. Morning, Philip. Hey, Guans. Hey, Steve. Make sure you guys are liking the stream as you come in. Support the channel, help others find it. It would be awesome. Good morning, Jonathan. Morning, Julian. What's up, Roberta? Good morning, Joanne. So we got about 3 minutes till the market open here. And we already got through the news. So we're just going to have to see how the market digests this information. Obviously, big spike up on that release. CPI came in a little bit below what was forecasted, but really not a whole lot of news there. So yeah, not a whole lot of bias other than that. We're opening right at yesterday's high, like Tom said. Good morning, Tom. So that's going to be the first level we want to watch and see whether the market trades above it, trades below it, respects it, does not respect it, etc. And the Nasdaq is essentially in that same position. Spike up off the CPI news and then immediate dip back below those key levels. And we'll have a lot more information on the open once this thing. Yeah, once we see if there's follow through in either direction. So hope you're all ready for a good day. Yesterday was solid. Had a lot of opportunities throughout the day to make some trades. We nailed them in the Discord. It was good stuff. Good morning, Light and Freedom. Ten seconds now till the open, guys. Here we go. So far, we don't really have a solid bias to trade. V-shaped reversals in a couple different directions, so that muddies the waters a little bit. Want to be cautious here until we have something super clear, because right now it's just rising lows, dropping highs, funneling into this little point right below a key level. Nothing to start clicking buttons at, that's for sure. And of course, we're compressing sideways. Yay. Everyone's favorite kind of price action, right? A little sideways compression. We're going to need some expansion in one of the directions to actually get after it here. Draw a little compression here. So that is exactly what the market is doing. Does look like maybe might have follow through on this little downtrend. But we'll see. Nothing to take a position on, that's for sure. Trying to break through to the upside. Again, we were right in this compression. Started to look like we were going out. Actually, if this turns into a bearish bar, it could take a failed breakout here. So I'm ready for that. If this bar ends bearish. Nope. Doji. Not worth it to risk it on a doji, folks. However, if the next bar ends up bearish, we'll look for that failed breakout. Will be more of an aggressive setup because Nasdaq is not really doing the same thing. It's not in the same kind of compression. It looks like it's already played out its downtrend. Move down here, break new low, and now we're headed the other direction, challenging that key level there. ES did end up dropping down, did not have the a bearish bar to take on that failed breakout. Now we're just mid-range. A little bit more strength on the NQ. It's not really dropping with S&P right there. Right up against that key level. Testing above it now. Meanwhile, S&P still stuck in that sideways range. Nasdaq really spiking up here. Tempted to take this failed breakout on ES, but it is an inside bar, and Nasdaq is off to the races to the bullish side, so we'll hold off. NQ quite strong this morning, and that's a real good sign for a possibility of a bullish trend if tech is leading the way. It's definitely what you want to see. we don't get a correction soon, we'll be looking at the possibility of this wider trend. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to draw it now. Ooh, man, that's such a good bar for a potential reversal, though. Uptrend already played out. I'm going to try for a little quick scalp here. Very aggressive trade, but only taking one contract. I'll be trailing it very tight, just looking for a little bit of a move back down to the 21 moving average. There we go. Boom. That's all we were looking for. It could continue to keep going down. Got trailed in profit. We will take it. And of course, just realized I did not have my trade copier on, so that's a bummer. So Nasdaq's getting rejected at yesterday's high so far. Substantially. Man, oh man. S&P finally had that second leg to a new low. Nasdaq bouncing back pretty quickly, not having follow through off that red candle. Meanwhile, S&P looks like it wants to make another leg lower. So again, we'll let this resolve. Right now, we're just going sideways here after that leg down. Over on NQ, we actually have a second entry short. Let's see if we can snag an entry here. A little bit of aggressive because it was a vertical move, but this does have a chance of making that second leg down, basically from right here. But overall, it is pretty dang congested. There's another chance if this turns real bearish. Not quite. So overall NQ in a sideways structure, basically mid-range. All the S&P has already played out. Waiting for what is next. So that second leg down, not the best structure in the world to try to map out here. Ghost asking, what do I count as played out? And when a channel has a close outside and a new extreme. That is when it is played out. ES may be working its way down to that overnight low. Just really no solid structure yet. We're waiting for one side of the market to take over. Next level we'd be looking on the Nasdaq is the bottom of this range. And we have this move down played out with the break and the new low. So I'd actually be looking for a bullish bar right around here to take long if we get it on the failed breakout. I think it's going to have one more push down, and then, yeah, again, looking for that bullish bar. Looks like we might get the bounce before we actually get there. If the S&P keeps going down, we might have to look at the possibility of a wider downtrend. Right now, it's too choppy to do that. Not that kind of wide trend is not reliable in this price action. Another rejection at the EMA by the S&P. Be watching this whole area down here where the overnight support was. Well, this is much different price action than yesterday. Yesterday, about this time, we knew for sure we had an uptrend on our hands. Jockey asking, how do you decide whether to buy sell from an order block or the liquidity that is usually below above the order block? You don't, because those terms were made by a proven scammer. So you try something that actually works. Don't get confused in all that nonsense. You will not be profitable trading all that stuff. I'm just here to tell you. NQ, I would say of the two indices, looks a little bit more clear right now. At least this has a nice looking range. Meanwhile, S&P's like, is it going to be a wider downtrend? Is it not going to be a wider downtrend? Not super clear, but NQ, nice solid range. Pretty consistent looking. You know, if we come down to the bottom here, get a solid bar, I will take a long for a failed breakout. NQ or ES still just unable to get above the 21 moving average. Another push down. Coming to that overnight support. If we break through below that, continue down, that's when I will finally settle on the larger channel. Still a little bit too early for me, but we are certainly keeping this in the back of our minds, understanding that we do have a bearish imbalance, right? We continue to make lower highs and lower lows. Just depends on if we can actually break through this support or not. I like the idea of a long on Nasdaq a little bit better because this is a consistent range. Ooh, that's a tempting bar right there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie. Quite tempting. But I'm not gonna take it because there's not a whole ton of room to the EMA. And ideally we actually have a failed breakout, meaning we actually try to break below this and then get a bullish hammer. So that's what I'm looking for. A little bit farther down, bullish hammer around here. That's the long I would take. Meanwhile, monitoring this bearish bias on the S&P. All right, NQ finally breaking out of the bottom of that range. So far looking like a real breakout, not the failed breakout that we were hoping for. So in that case, we will switch back over to the S&P. Start to play this downtrend, which is beginning to look confirmed. And we'll wait for the pullback, and as long as the pullback holds this breakout, meaning as long as we don't go back above this level into this range, we'll look for a short. So looking for a pullback that has two legs like so, bearish bar right around here. We'll take that short. Here's the pullback. This is what we're going to have to watch very closely. As the S&P pulls back, unfortunately, the Nasdaq is getting back into the range. So far, and not following through to the downside. So we'll be monitoring that as we watch this pullback on ES. We don't want NQ to be completely back in the range. Waiting for the bearish bar on the S&P. We have one leg back right here. One attempt lower. Second leg back. Now we're looking for the bearish hammer. Did not get a bearish bar that we needed there. Still have a chance though. We don't want it to expand away from the 21 just yet. We want our bearish lower high, and that will be our signal to take the short. Again, watching NQ, making sure it doesn't bounce back up into the range. If it does, we might be sunk. Cool. Well, NQ starting to move on down. We never got the lower high on ES though. Doesn't look like we're going to get the setup on this pullback. However, our channel is still active. We have not broken out of it yet. So if we make a new low, totally fine. We'll just reset our account and then we'll be looking for the next pullback to get that set up. Easy peasy. At least the bias is starting to make sense. It's starting to be pretty clear as long as we don't bounce back up into the range or do anything crazy like that. We'll stick to the short side and keep trading it until this channel has played itself out. The only problem really on this move down is that it's very low volume. Not a whole lot of conviction pushing us down. Hopefully that can pick up, but it's one thing to note. Still waiting on that pullback here. Prices are just kind of flatlining. Did not even make a new low on that push down there. There it is. Okay, cool. Made a new low. I'd like to see us actually get down towards the bottom of this channel, and that will make our pullback even better. Want to see some conviction from sellers. Still waiting on this pullback here, guys. Price action pretty slow. What are we thinking of this, guys? Everyone's silent. Hopefully you're not silently buying. That's the only thing. If you're silently waiting for a setup, good for you. Don't be trying to predict the bottom of this thing. Until we are proven otherwise, we got to stay on the short side. Nice. There's another little push down. And again, we'll just be patient for this next pullback. Once we get back to the 21, we'll hopefully get a chance to join this move. Did not get back to the moving average there. We are also watching this downtrend unfold on NQ. It's coming right to that overnight low area. Oops, wrong button. We got to make sure we break through that area if we're going to get a short. We do not want to trade a bounce off of that. Striker asking if the downtrend on NQ seems cleaner. I would say no, because I mean, it looks good. Like, as far as the actual channel, yeah, maybe you're probably right. This channel looks great. Really confirmed, touching at all the points. The only problem is we're right at the overnight low here, right at the key level. And this is where things could bounce. This is where this thing could get reversed. Whereas ES, oh, holy crap. Accidentally put an order on the chart. Whereas ES is far below that key level. We don't have to worry about it anymore. It is confirmed below it, even like went and retested and it held. So the downtrend may look good on NQ, but it's far more trustworthy on ES right now. Which, speaking of which, let's make sure we're taking note of other unbroken daily highs and lows. Here's yesterday's low, which was right off the open, and we never looked back. Plenty of room till we get there. Good update on NQ though. So far, so good. It broke below the whatchamacallit, overnight low, and is so far holding. That's for sure helpful in terms of trusting this trend on ES too, because you don't want to be taking a short on ES while NQ is bouncing at a key level. Come on, baby. Give us a pullback. So yeah, that is what we need to be waiting for, guys. Again, don't be trying to buy this. And also don't try to short at the very bottom of this trend, right? The pullbacks give us the structure. They give us the risk reward. If you're shorting down here at the bottom, I mean, yeah, it could work, you know, and you do have a better chance of the market to continue to go down than to reverse. However, you don't want to short right here and then ride a pullback, you know, that ends up going like this before making a new low. That's really terrible risk to reward. That's the kind of stuff that'll get you ruined in the long run. So wait for that pullback, and then you're only risking a little bit, and you have all this way to drop. So it does look like it's going to take a while to set up. We have not yet even really got back to the EMA in a long time. So be patient. No need to rush it. We got a very clear bias. That's great. That's super helpful for the day. We're not having to worry about back and forth, you know, crazy range action or something. So wait for that pullback. Wait for the setup. Join the short, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing over in the Discord today. So see the team over there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you next time.